Thank you. Hi, my name is Marcus Johnson, and I am a lawyer, an entrepreneur, an author, a professor, a community activist, a musician, and deepest in my heart, a dad. And some people may say I'm a little bit crazy, but I like to say that I am just a guy who is doing my flow, doing the things that I love to do. And flow has many different meanings for me. It's FLO with no W, and generally it means for the love of. But for tonight's purposes, we're going to talk about being crazy. Crazy enough to do all that stuff that I do, try to do. And we're going to look at flow in the terms of F, being crazy enough to have fun. L, being crazy enough to love the process. And O, being crazy enough that once you get that down, that you organize with others so that you can change the soul of the world and change the soul of the universe. So I always get asked the question, well, how do you do it? You know, I'm an outlier. I come from a family, a very traditional family. My oldest sister is a pharmacologist, MBA right after that, entrepreneur. My brother is a OBGYN. The sister beneath me is a lawyer. The one beneath her is a pulmonologist. So can you imagine when I came home and I said, I'm going to major in music in college? That's exactly what they said. You're out of your mind. You're crazy. So when I look at things in this fashion about how you go about being crazy, the first thing you have to do is be crazy enough to have fun. And you do that by committing yourself to, I say, ideals that you stick by that are you, that you stand for who you are as a person on this planet. And you stand for the passion that was given to you when you were born. So I'm committed to proactivity and accountability. What does that mean, Marcus? Well, that means that all this stuff, including success, happiness, love, fun, is a choice. And I'm very proactive in my life. To be a victim and to not be accountable to yourself at the same time is the most disempowering thing that you can do with your life. I take control of mine. I make the choices. And as a result, I can basically take credit for my failures. And I can take credit for my successes. After that, you have to be committed to pursuit of excellence. That means just doing your best, pulling all your resources together and saying, you know what, I'm just going to leave it all on the floor. I don't know if you play sports or whether it's just being, just a family member, but it's about making sure that each day you're committed to doing your best. And it's not the adjective excellence. It's not the adverb excellence. It is the verb excellence. You have to do this in action every single day. You have to be committed to the idea that I'm going to purge negativity from my life at all costs. We often hear about people who've been diagnosed with diseases such as cancer. You have a mass. We need to eradicate it immediately. Well, what are you going to do? We're going to schedule surgery. We're going to have surgery day after tomorrow. No problem. But life in its insidious nature, step by step, tortures us and rips us of our soul almost by the fact that we will not eradicate the things and people and environments and habits in our life that threaten us just as much as cancer may. You have to be committed to making sure that you are willing to purge negativity and that you will promote positivity. Don't overlook and take for granted the people that you have in your life that are telling you not just, oh yeah, I love it, yes, yes, yes. But the people that are giving you the constructive criticism that help you grow. Now, once you do all that, then I say just be committed to doing your best, which is tied in with excellence. Because this is the whole part of having fun. Fun is not without structure. The structure that you have allows you to have fun. Doing your best, and let me tell you, on some days, maybe after partying, it's not the best or the same kind of best after a good night's sleep. Doing your best is just that. And it allows you to look at it, laugh at yourself. And I'll tell you this, I challenge you every day to be the first person that winks at yourself in the mirror before you leave. Because if you're not doing that, nobody else is going to do that. That's how you have fun. So once we are crazy enough to have fun, then we have to be crazy enough to love the process. Now, most of us think we're taught that life is from beginning to end. It's a linear kind of process. But it really is cyclical on that linear kind of vibe. You know, you have things where you kind of dream it, you kind of put it in an environment, you plan it, you go out and do it, you live it, and you listen and learn to it, and it just keeps going over and over and over. But it's a process. The key components of the process, though, are that in order to be able to come up with the dream and to think about the things that you have fun with, you actually have to spend some time with you. It may be at the end of a runway like I do watching planes land at National Airport, in the States, in Washington, D.C. It may be, the fact that if you see a man in a white Jeep Cherokee with Maryland tags on it, and he's talking to himself, that's me having my initial audition with Oprah for our interview that we're going to have. It is the idea that if you don't know who you are, that you can't achieve any of this. Because the worst thing on this planet is unrealized potential. And many of us, again, and I keep using this term, many of us, but we put our passion under the pillow each day to get in a car, to sit in traffic, to go to a job we don't like, doing things we don't like, with people we don't like, to then get back in traffic, which we already, acknowledged we don't like, to go home to a situation, be it with somebody or by yourself, that you don't like. That's not a way to live. To me, that's crazy in the psychosis kind of way. Not in the crazy kind of like, that dude is crazy. That's what I'm talking about. I don't want you to live that other life. So you have to spend time with yourself because this is your life, guys and gals. This is your life. This is not a dress rehearsal. So once you get to the point where you love the process and you learn and spend time with yourself, then you have to learn and be crazy enough to love fear. Because really, when we hear these voices in the back of our head, like, you're going to do what? From high school to college, being in music, from when I was in the music program to going and saying, I'm going to go to law school. And I'm not just going to go to any law school. I'm going to go to Georgetown Law School, one of the top, law schools in the country, and I'm going to get my MBA at the same time, and I'm going to teach there, and I'm going to put out a couple of records while I'm there. Well, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to study 9,000 hours a day. No. Those are your fears. Those are your thoughts about how your life should be. They don't dictate me. And when I'm in law school and about to graduate, and they're like, Mr. Johnson, you have not had any on-campus interviews. No. Well, where are you going to work? Well, I put out 2 CDs and I'm going to start my career. I'm going on tour as soon as I graduate. Well, we can't use those statistics. My bad. That's your problem. I'm doing my life. I am living my life. I am not living society. That voice in the back of your head, and we all have it. You can't deny it. It's just going, that's society. You have to get back to the deeper voice, the one that tells you this is what you are supposed to be doing. And each and every one of you all in here, you know that you know it. So we love ourselves, spend time with me. We listen to fear and look it in the face. And then you have to love failure. Failure hurts. Failure is painful. One of the greatest moments of my life was when I got my company founded and funded by, the world's first African-American billionaire, Bob Johnson. The worst day of my life to that point was when I had to go in and let my staff know that through all of our valiant efforts, all of our marketing, all of our belief in the artists that we had put out, that we had 2 weeks left of payroll because the music industry had changed. And I can't pay you after 2 weeks. I'll help you go. And let me tell you about a guy who drove up and down Georgia Avenue talking to my number 2 with tears coming down my eyes because it hurt. It's the most passionate thing that you will ever do when you follow you, but you should do it anyway. My dad said, son, you have been beat up so much. He's like, you took some hits that I thought completely would absolutely knock you out. That's when I learned who I really was. Not in the good time when I got the company funded, but in the fact that I was able to get my behind kicked in business, kicked in family, failed marriage. I'm not supposed to do that. Kicked in other respects in life, and I get beat up all the time. I read Paulo Coelho all the time, but he says failure is inevitable. The key to success is making sure that you fall down 7 times and that you get up 8, or in my case, 999,000 times, and you get up 10,000 times. But I like failure because it lets me know that I have this other thing called resiliency. And that is what I'm out here doing. I've learned resiliency to be able to teach my little 4-year-old daughter when she falls down or when somebody hits her. She got a black eye the other day. Baby, you got it at 4, right? At the playground. It's like, only my daughter would want to go down the slide head first, right? Again, do you, but understand, I tell her all the time, look, sweetie, if you want to play with the boys, you got to play like the boys play. Have fun with it. Now, I may have talked to the little guy at the same time, but, teaching my daughter, you got to get back up, dust yourself off. Which leads us to the last part of our flow, which is being crazy enough to organize. Because after all the failure, trust me, I have many more stories of failure, tears, crying, grown man, sobbing. I was able to get over it and bounce back. I was able to do that because I had other people that were helping me. So as I continue on, I look forward to the idea of being crazy enough to organize with others to change the soul of the world. It's not cool to do this alone, nor should we, nor should you. There are people here to help you. And my thought is, with all of the craziness going on this planet right now, there's one thing that's missing. And that's people looking into who they are and their passion. I hear cliche, in the United States right now, I hear a lot of cliche, right? About, who's doing what, this group is doing that, you got to watch out for this group, they may harm you. But if you're following your passion, I've never seen someone do that and have time to hate on somebody else. That's my mission. To make sure that we go out and hopefully one day have some type of institution where we put the flow together for the love of, for fun, for the love of the process, to organize, to make sure others realize and recognize their passion, which is my passion. Because if people are doing that, we're all better for it. So, I've gone through a whole bunch of stuff. I've learned how to have fun. I've learned how to laugh at myself. My mom says, son, don't take yourself so seriously. Laugh. I laugh, and I have a lot to laugh at. Laugh to keep from crying. I spend a lot of time with myself. I spend a lot of time loving the process. I spend a lot of time overcoming fear. And remember, courageousness is not the absence of fear. It's the ability to live your passion in the face of it. Now I'm ready to organize and make a difference. I bounced back to be able to do music. I've overcome failure to be able to write a book. I've taken the wisdom that I've learned in these failures and successes to go out and share in teaching. That's my flow. What's your flow gonna be? I'm Marcus Johnson, and I do things that make people say, I am crazy. I invite you to do the same.